with these electrical items, if these have not been tested, there is a really serious risk of fire or electric shocks.
Hello and welcome to the Cost of Living Newscast from Kent County Council. In this episode, our journalist Elizabeth Matsangu is speaking to Trading Standards officers Nathan Martin and Esther Osborn about buying safe gifts in the run-up to Christmas. For more advice and tips, click the subscribe button below, follow Kent County Council's public protection or business advice accounts on social media, or sign up to receive scam alerts or business bulletins by email. Links below.
Nathan and Esther, thank you for joining us today. So my first question is to you, Nathan. What new risks do you think the cost of living crisis brings with it for gift buying?
Well, obviously, things are getting tight at the moment. People are feeling the pinch. So the biggest issue is that they're going to be trying to save as much money as possible. If price does become the deciding factor, then that then puts people at an increased risk of getting counterfeit goods or buying goods that are low quality, and they're low quality because of all the sort of corners that have been cut to get them on the market, or in the worst case scenario, being the victim of a scam, either where they purchase a fake item which is being passed off as a real one, or they don't get anything at all, so they pay and nothing arrives, or in the worst case scenario, they become the victim of some sort of financial fraud.
And Esther, what are the potential issues with low quality and counterfeit goods?
So when goods are made and they are genuine, a lot of money goes into having these products tested so they're safe for the market. So when you're buying an item that maybe is counterfeit, it can be dangerous. If it's a toy, the paints on the product may not have been tested, so there could be toxic levels of chemicals. There could be small parts that can become dislodged. Batteries may be easily removed, so the button batteries that we've heard about where young children have swallowed them and in some instances been killed as a result of it. And the product just won't be of the same quality, so it may break more easily. We know this year that there's a big demand for the big electrical items like the hoverboards, the scooters. With these electrical items, if these have not been tested, there is a really serious risk of fire or electric shocks. So it's so important to check that when buying electric items or toys that they have been tested and are the genuine item.
So what should consumers look out for if they want to identify those kinds of goods?
The number one thing is going to be price. If it's priced low, it probably is too good to be true. Is it the exact same packaging as that genuine item that you've looked at in maybe a more established supermarket or online? Where's the product coming from? Is there a high cost for delivery? So is it coming directly from China? Therefore, it's not coming from anywhere in the UK or the EU, and you'll have no redress. You should see on electrical items and toys a CE symbol. This will say that the product's been tested to a certain requirement.
Nathan, could you give us some top tips for gift buying?
So firstly, we'd recommend that you do your research. So what is it you're buying? What does it look like? How much would you expect to pay from it if you're buying it from a high street retailer, for example? And where is it available to buy? We'd also say only buy from legitimate traders, so toy retailers, known brands, legitimate websites, that sort of thing. If it's not a legitimate trader, you can't get any redress. So if it goes wrong, there's nothing you can do about it. I would urge people to think about safety as well as price. A lot of these cheap goods, these counterfeit goods, the reason they're so cheap is because no effort is put into the safety of them. I'd also warn people to be wary of purchasing from scalpers. Scalpers are people who purchase any sort of hot products, so products which have a high demand but a low availability. They purchase them en masse, the idea being that they strangle availability. And then they make those products available for a hugely inflated price through platforms such as eBay. You might be paying 3-4 times the actual value of the product. The best example I can point to was when the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X were launched. Those goods were bought up almost in their entirety by scalpers, and a £400 console was hitting eBay for £1,200 quite regularly. There's no redress if the goods are faulty. Even if they're real, you're not purchasing them from the manufacturer, so you get no redress. You have no rights from the manufacturer itself. There's no guarantee that you'll actually be sent the goods. It's quite regular for people to be sent empty boxes or boxes with junk in them to make up the weight, so they go straight under the tree. Quite a common scam was the sale of Xbox. The Xbox Series X, described as an Xbox. Looks just like a spelling mistake, and all the pictures show the Xbox system, the games, the peripherals that come with it. But in the description, what is actually being sold is the box for an Xbox Series X. But because there is such high demand, these goods are flying out, you're trying to get one desperately for your child, you don't read the description and you end up paying £1,200 on a box. And as far as eBay is concerned, that's an accurate description.
And Esther, does the type of payment method offer protection?
What we know is most reputable retailers take payment via PayPal and credit card. The reason this is so important is both of these can give you cover. If you're going to buy something that's over £100, we always recommend paying via credit card. This means if there's an issue with the product, it doesn't come, it's faulty, it's not as described, you're able to go to your credit card provider and they're able to resolve this issue for you. If it's under £100, we always advise using PayPal. Although this isn't in law, they do cover complaints up to 180 days and again are able to then raise this complaint for you and giving you peace of mind.
Nathan, should consumers be wary of online reviews?
Well, looking at reviews is an important part of the research process, and we would suggest that people do it. It's just where you get those reviews from that can make a difference. So if you have reviews on the company's own website, they can be easily manipulated. Likewise, for things like on Facebook and the App Store, etc., there's often an incentive that they give you to leave a 5-star review from. Look out for any reviews which are just a rating with no details. So, for example, just a 5-star with nothing written. Reviews where they say something, but they don't actually say anything about the product. Something like amazing experience. Now, what I would recommend instead of trusting those sort of reviews is check dedicated review websites, things like Trustpilot and Which.
And what about online marketplaces?
It is part of life now that we do a lot of our purchasing on online marketplaces, and places like Amazon and eBay, they are legitimate platforms for people to make purchases. Counterfeiting and scams are less of an issue on Amazon, although they do pop up with greater prevalence on eBay. Although eBay is very robust in where they find out that something is a scam or something is unsafe, they take action to have it removed from the platform. Nevertheless, they are still on there. If you are purchasing from Amazon, the goods which are sort of delivered by Amazon as part of the Amazon marketplace, I would have more trust in those goods than in third-party sellers who are selling on Amazon. Now, Electrical Safety First have an app, and it's available as a web browser called Check It Out, which you can plug into your browser. And if you're then shopping on Amazon and you get directed to a third-party site, so it's an Amazon seller rather than Amazon itself, it will tell you. And then that allows you to take the relevant precautions, check where it's coming from, check the history of the business, that sort of thing. Now, there are other places to purchase online as well. The goods purchased through a Facebook group or a Discord, they're very unlikely to be real. They may be stolen. None of these people are legitimate sellers, so there'll be no redress if the goods are fake or if they are faulty. You don't know who you're dealing with. It's very easy to put on a fake profile. Even if somebody has a real profile, there'll be no contact details, no telephone number or address. And if you have an issue, it's very easy for somebody to block you contacting them in any way through those platforms. I would particularly urge you to be wary of making any sort of electronic payments, so PayPal or Venmo, if you're purchasing through one of these platforms like Facebook, Discord, because the scam potential is very, very high. Either you don't receive the goods are fake, or in the worst sort of scenario, your financial details are misused.
We can't take action without your reports. We need everyone who comes across them to speak up and report scams and criminals. Even if you've seen a scam many times before, your reporting can help us target our resources and warn and protect others. If you have information on doorstep criminals, counterfeit, fake or illegal goods, illicit tobacco, loan sharks or underage sales, contact the charity Crimestoppers on 0800 555 111. You'll stay 100% anonymous, always. To report scams and get advice on consumer issues, call the Citizens Advice Consumer Helpline on 0808 223 1133. Thank you for helping us protect Kent from scammers and criminals.